Ariana Madix officially proved that getting, like, spectacularly and publicly betrayed by a mediocre man on Bravo is honestly the single greatest career move a woman can make in the 21st century.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
She literally built the blueprint.
Exactly. And today, we are watching Ciara Miller cash that exact same check. Welcome to the snark side, babes. But before we unpack the absolute monetization of reality TV trauma, I need to check in with you. Snark Squad babes, wake up, get up, open your eyes.
Open them right now.
It is Thursday morning, the hustle is very real, and we are activated.
We are vibrating at a frequency that can honestly only be described as like pure survival mode.
Yeah, no, exactly. I am wishing you the most amazing, chaotic, or just completely unproductive day, like whatever you need to survive it. But babes, before we do literally anything else, I need you to hit that subscribe button right now.
Do it right now. Smash it.
Share this show with your group chat, send it to your best friends, send it to your literal nemesis. We are out in these streets recording content almost daily for you. We are sacrificing our vocal cords to the reality television gods.
We really are. The vocal fry is becoming a medical condition.
It is. And this show is the perfect soundtrack for your commute or, for hiding in the bathroom at work or typing loudly on your keyboard so your manager thinks you're drafting a Q3 report or honestly just doing whatever the fuck you want today. We love you, babes.
We love you so much. And the delusion is incredibly thick this morning in this studio. Frankly, it is the only structural support system keeping me upright today.
Oh my God, same.
That and the literal lifeline sitting right in front of us. Because, the iced caramel macchiatos are on deck.
They are here.
They are large, they're sweating profusely, and they are glorious. And babes, these are fucking amazing.
I cannot even begin to describe the immediate physiological serotonin boost that just flooded my brain. Just looking at this plastic cup, the condensation is perfectly pooling at the bottom, and the caramel drizzle is doing that beautiful, viscous slide down the sides.
It's art. It really is art.
I am going to take my first sip right now. Hold on.
Do it. Get activated.
Oh my God, yes. I needed that so badly.
It is genuinely concerning how biologically dependent we are on bean water and sugar to just, function as members of a civilized society.
Yeah.
If you took these away right now, my central nervous system would simply shut down.
I would evaporate. I would simply cease to exist.
Right. But there is nothing quite like that lived in silence right after the first sip, that mutual eye contact where we both telepathically communicate, okay, my cells are regenerating, I am alive now.
I can actually feel the blood returning to my extremities, which is necessary because I need all my cognitive function for the adulting spiral we have to address before we get into the Bravo mess.
Oh, God. Spiral.
Yeah, you dropped a massive bomb on me before we hit record, and my heart rate has literally not regulated since.
Look, I had to confess my sins to you. Babes, I haven't filed my taxes yet.
I am sweating for you. I am physically perspiring. It's late April. How? Why? I am feeling secondhand panic radiating through my entire chest cavity.
Look, I can logically justify this procrastination.
Okay.
I requested an extension. I have the W-2s in a neat little pile on my kitchen island. I know the exact TurboTax website I need to log into. It's not a lack of knowledge.
Then what is it? Because I am panicking.
It is the activation energy required to sit down, look at a spreadsheet that mathematically proves how core I am, while the government simultaneously demands more of my depleted resources. It feels like extortion. Being an adult is honestly just an endless, suffocating avalanche of life admin.
It really is. It's the sheer volume of it. How are we supposed to remember all of this? Taxes, property taxes, bills, medical appointments, life admin. It's like playing a sick video game where the prize is just getting to exist for another 30 days. What do you think is the absolute worst part about it? Is it the financial drain? Oh, you want to live indoors? Pay. You want to drink clean water? Pay. You want to drive to the job that is slowly draining your soul? Pay for the gas, the registration, the insurance.
Honestly, for me, it's the psychological weight of never actually crossing a finish line.
Oh, wow.
You pay your rent, and 30 days later, the portal opens again. It's Sisyphus pushing a boulder made of utility bills up a steep hill. And there's always this lingering heavy dread in the back of your mind that you are forgetting something catastrophically important.
Yes, the dread.
I'm sitting here drinking my iced macchiato, and my brain is quietly whispering, did you renew your license plate? Did you cancel that Adobe free trial? Did you thaw the chicken?
The Adobe free trial will ruin your life, but I am right there with you in the trenches. And my threshold for dealing with any of this today is subterranean because, babes, I had a genuinely traumatic night of sleep last night.
Oh, the neighbor situation.
The apartment neighbor noise. Non-stop. I have no logical explanation for what was happening above my head from like 1 in the morning until sunrise.
Let's analyze the acoustic profile of this terror. Are we talking heavy machinery? A late-night Zumba class? What was it?
It sounded like they were dragging solid oak furniture across uncarpeted hardwood, but interspersed with these rhythmic, localized thumps, like someone draping a kettlebell every 45 seconds.
A kettlebell. At 2 a.m.
Yes. I was lying there in the dark, my eyes completely bloodshot, staring at the ceiling, mentally drafting passive-aggressive lease violation notices. I was so heated.
It's the rhythmic thumps that destroy your sanity, because your brain starts trying to find the pattern. You end up awake, analyzing the structural integrity of your drywall.
Exactly.
But let's look at the other side of the coin for a second. We complain about the noise, but the reality. At this point, the neighbors probably despise us just as much.
Oh, wait, why would they despise us? We don't drag oak furniture around at 2 a.m.
No, but we sit in this room and scream about reality television. We laugh at a decibel level that shatters glass. Between the thin apartment walls, the awkward hallway encounters where we pretend we didn't just hear them arguing about loading the dishwasher, and the thick, passive-aggressive energy in the elevator.
Okay, the elevator energy is so toxic.
We are definitely the villains in their narrative. They probably have a group chat about us.
Okay, that is a deeply fair point, which just proves that our apartment hunt needs to be drastically expedited. We need a concrete compound, far away from rhythmic thumping and tax forms.
A snark sanctuary. That's what we need. But before we find the sanctuary, we have to survive Thursday. Let's do our roses and thorns for the upcoming day. I'll let you start.
Ugh, okay. My thorn is incredibly dark. Because yes, babes, dentist life is calling.
Oh, thoughts and prayers.
Thank you. I have to go let a medical professional scrape my enamel with sharp metal hooks while asking me complex questions about my weekend that I literally cannot answer because my jaw is propped open. It is a vulnerable nightmare.
There's a hostage situation, basically.
It really is. But oh my God, my rose is so bright it eclipses the dental trauma. Babes, our second set of Snark Squad embroidered scrubs is arriving today, and they are specifically in sky blue.
It is a historic moment in the timeline of this show. I know you've refreshed the tracking app no less than 40 times since 6 a.m.
It is an emotional moment for me. I am already planning the matching aesthetic. I know exactly what white sneakers I'm wearing. The sky blue is going to make us look so professional, yet incredibly unhinged.
The sky blue is going to look incredible. We are going to look like the surgical attendings of gossip. But I do have to provide a slight cynical reality check here.
Oh, here we go.
We are grown adults whose dopamine baseline is currently so low that we are experiencing severe emotional volatility over the arrival of medically adjacent pajamas. That is where we are at in life.
Hey, I am embracing the joy wherever I can find it. Fueled by this caramel macchiato, fueled by extreme sleep deprivation, and fueled by the creeping overwhelm of adulthood, we are ready to jump into the mess.
We're ready.
Let's move from our own messy lives right into the messy, incestuous reality TV friend groups that actually get paid to be this chaotic.
The transition is seamless because the entire ecosystem of reality television right now is built on the life cycle of broken relationships. We are watching in real time how public fallout and relationship treachery in one reality universe strategically translates to a redemption arc on an entirely different network.
It is the absolute monetization of betrayal. Which brings us to the breaking news out of Hulu's Get Real House event. Babes, Summer House star Ciara Miller is officially, definitively joining the cast of Dancing with the Stars for season 35.
It is a brilliant PR maneuver, and we have to examine the architecture of how she actually got there.
First of all, I am so here for this casting. I'm hyping her up so much. Ciara took ballet for a decade. She actually has the foundational technique, the grace, and she's going to look stunning in those ballroom outfits.
She is going to dominate.
And we also found out the Traitors and Love Island UK icon Maura Higgins is joining DWTS too, which is just incredible casting.
Maura, who famously got backstabbed by RHOBH on the Traitors, walked away with $0, and then he bought her a Birkin bag as an apology. Like the ultimate reality TV transaction.
Iconic. A literal Birkin. But bringing it back to Ciara, the mechanics behind her casting are fascinating to me.
Because it is the Ariana Madix blueprint. Let's break it down for the babes. Historically, DWTS cast reality stars who were already massive established household names, right?
Yeah.
Like Nene Leakes or Teresa Giudice.
Right.
But the Scandival shifted the entire paradigm. Ariana Madix gets devastatingly betrayed by Tom Sandoval on Vanderpump Rules. The culture rallies around her, and her PR team realizes that Disney Plus and ABC are desperate for that specific demographic of highly engaged, fiercely loyal, female Bravo viewers.
They want that Bravo bump.
Exactly. So getting cheated on or publicly humiliated by a man in the Bravo universe now translates directly into a sequined redemption arc on network television.
Amanda Batula and Wes Wilson's absolute mess basically became Ciara's golden ticket. We have to unpack that scandal because it is the catalyst for all of this.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so Amanda Batula, who is married to Kyle Cook, secretly starts dating Wes Wilson. West, who is Ciara's ex, and who spent an entire summer of Summer House playing this intense, emotionally unavailable push-and-pull game with Ciara.
The boy-boying, as they call it.
Ugh, yes. So the timeline leaks, the internet catches fire, and then they drop the joint PR statement.
Ah, yes. The joint statement. The most meticulously sanitized corporate speak damage control I've read in months. Let's look what they actually said.
Read it to me.
They claimed they saw the online speculation and wanted to provide clarity. They stated they didn't, quote-unquote, purposefully hide anything, but given the, quote, complicated dynamics and scrutiny, they needed a little space to, quote, process things privately.
Oh, my God.
They framed it as a genuine friendship that evolved, and they just needed time to understand exactly what they were feeling so they didn't cause hurt.
I am going to push back on that statement so hard. We needed time to understand our feelings. Babes, that is the exact same excuse a high school sophomore uses when they are hiding a terrible report card from their parents.
Literally?
I just needed time to process the D in algebra. No, you hid it because you knew the optics were absolutely terrible. I mean, ask yourselves, babes, do you buy for one single second that this relationship didn't overlap with other timelines?
Of course not. The math doesn't math. But let me play devil's advocate for a second regarding West. Is it possible that Bravo production forces this single mingling guy narrative on him for ratings?
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, we know producers pressure the cast to hide serious relationships if it doesn't fit the summer party theme. Could West just be a victim of the editing machine?
Absolutely not. I refuse to give him the producer manipulation out. Because you don't go on a podcast in your free time and say the things he said if you're just playing a produced role.
That is a very fair point. Let's analyze his appearance on the Show Me Something with Sophie and West podcast. Because he goes on there and gets incredibly defensive. He completely plays the victim.
Oh, the victim routine was so transparent.
He's whining, saying the internet is a very scary place to be right now. He complains that Amanda is taking the brunt of the hate, that her number got leaked, and that someone called her a home-wrecking WHORE.
Which, to be clear, nobody should have their private phone number leaked or face that level of vitriol. That crosses a line, and the internet trolls need to touch grass.
Agreed.
Oh.
The harassment is completely wrong. But look at the rhetorical trick West is pulling here. He is using the extreme, unacceptable behavior of internet trolls to completely shield himself from the totally valid criticism about his own deceitful actions.
Wow, yes.
He is hiding behind Amanda's harassment so he doesn't have to answer for the fact that he literally sat on Watch What Happens Live before this all broke and said Amanda was single and he had to, quote, show her the streets a little bit.
The absolute cringe of a grown man saying he needs to show her the streets. It is repulsive. He was playing games with Ciara, using her vulnerability as a storyline shield, all while laying the groundwork with his married castmate.
It's dark.
And the way the rest of the cast is reacting perfectly illustrates the gender divide in reality television right now.
It really does. Look at Jesse Solomon's appearance on Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah.
Andy Cohen presses him on the West situation, and Jesse immediately tries to straddle the fence.
Typical Bravo man behavior.
He does the classic fraternity protection maneuver. He says he's disappointed, sure, but make sure to remind the audience that West is a, quote, good guy who sat on the floor with him during his cancer scare.
Like, that excuses the lying.
Right. He tries to humanize West before the reunion, claiming West genuinely believes the timeline is just two single people and that West is going to be combative.
And that is when Lindsay Hubbard enters the chat with absolute surgical precision.
She is a sniper from the side.
She really is. Under the WWHL clip on Instagram, Lindsay drops a comment. She says, the to be clear part, though, didn't West say that when he was on?
It's brilliant. She is exposing the coordinated talking points.
Yeah.
She is pointing out that Jesse is sitting on television, pretending to organically navigate this complicated moral dilemma, when in reality, the Summer House men have clearly sat in a room and agreed on their vocabulary. They share the same phrases. They protect each other's narratives.
The men operate like a PR firm, but the women operate like the FBI. They are keeping the receipts. They are cross-referencing the timelines. Lindsay is sitting at home, completely unbothered, just waiting for the boys to slip up on their memorized scripts.
It is so validating to watch the men try to spin this "we were just single friends" narrative and immediately get fact-checked by the women who actually lived in the house with them.
It just highlights how reality TV men think they can charm their way out of a crisis while the women just bring a literal subpoena.
Exactly. And speaking of women bringing absolute destruction, we have a transition from the younger Bravo generation spinning PR to the veteran housewives.
The veterans.
Because we are currently witnessing egos so massively inflated that they are actively imploding and ruining their own careers.
We are going straight to Beverly Hills, babes. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion preview dropped, and it is a masterclass in hubris and humiliation. We have to talk about Amanda Francis.
The money manifestation teacher.
Yes, she is the manifestation teacher who joined the cast this season and has spent literally every single episode relentlessly, tackily flaunting her wealth.
And in the reunion preview, she faces the ultimate humiliation. She gets roasted by the absolute last person on earth who should be delivering lectures on financial morality.
Literally the last person.
Erika Jayne.
Which is wild. Break down what Erika actually said to her.
So Erika calls Amanda out for her behind-the-scenes behavior. She claims that during filming, Amanda literally directed the camera crew. Erika said Amanda told the operators to make sure they get a, quote, shot of my Chanel bag.
Oh my God.
Erika looks at her dead in the eye at the reunion and says, you cannot lead with that shit. We are too old and too experienced. We want you, not the veneer. You've rubbed everybody the wrong way.
The secondhand embarrassment I felt watching that is indescribable. Begging a camera operator to pan down to your Chanel bag. It screams deep, foundational insecurity.
It's so cringe.
It screams new money in the worst possible way. Like, babes, if you actually have generational wealth or even secure self-made wealth, you just set the bag on the table and let it exist in the frame. You don't direct the shot like an amateur music video director.
It's the behavior of an influencer, not a housewife. But we have to analyze the messenger here. Why is Erika Jayne the one delivering this blow?
Because it's so hypocritical. Erika, it's expensive to be me, Jane. The woman who built an entire persona on bragging about her $40,000 a month glam squad, which was allegedly funded by stolen settlement money meant for orphans and widows.
The irony is suffocating.
She is suddenly the voice of humble authenticity.
It is wildly hypocritical, but that's exactly why it's so effective. Erika knows the reality TV game better than anyone. She knows what happens when the audience turns on you for being greedy and tone deaf.
She lived it.
Exactly. She is looking at Amanda and recognizing the exact same arrogance she used to have. But Amanda doesn't have the charisma or the campiness to pull it off. And it wasn't just the bags, by the way. The core issue with Amanda was her sociological approach to her marriage on camera.
Yes. Oh my God, how she treated her husband, Eddie. Throughout the season, Amanda used her wealth as a weapon to emasculate him. She bragged to the other women that she makes more money in a single month than Eddie makes in an entire year.
And at the reunion, Andy Cohen presses her on this. He asks how Eddie feels about being portrayed as a freeloader to millions of viewers. Amanda immediately gets defensive.
Of course she does.
She throws out the standard PR defense, saying Eddie is a good man, he owns a company, he takes care of me. But then Kyle Richards steps in and asks the real question. Kyle says, did Eddie say anything to you about those comments?
And Amanda has to admit the truth. She says Eddie came to her and said, quote, yes, that is true, and maybe you didn't have to say it that way.
It is such a quiet, devastated response from a partner. Maybe you didn't have to say it that way.
It breaks my heart. Rachel Zoe even chimed in online, calling it straight up disrespectful, and Amanda tries to spin it, claiming she was just trying to empower women to know they can be the breadwinners.
That's not empowerment.
No! Babes, you do not empower feminism by financially humiliating your partner on national television for a storyline. It's not girl bossing, it's cruelty.
She completely misunderstood the assignment. She thought extravagant wealth would make her a fan favorite, like early Lisa Vanderpump. Instead, her desperation just made her an antagonist.
Totally.
But if we want to talk about desperation and hubris completely backfiring, we have to look at New Jersey.
Jennifer Aydin did not make the cut for RHONJ season 15. She is officially out.
Fired. And the spin she is trying to put on this firing is comedy gold.
It is pure PR survival mode. She goes on her podcast, TV Gold, and claims she doesn't need the show. She tells her audience that when the producer called to give her the news, she supposedly replied, "You're 2 years too late." She is trying to project this aura of total nonchalance, like she's above it all, but the reality is completely different. Insiders are leaking to Reality Blurb that behind the scenes, Jennifer is devastated. She is mourning the loss of the platform and the fame.
Oh, definitely.
And honestly, her actions prove it. Ask yourselves, babes, if you truly, genuinely did not care about a reality TV job, would you show up to a Real Housewives? Ultimate girls trip filming event, completely uninvited, claiming it was just a costume party.
That is the defining detail right there. Production was not filming her. She was not on the cast list. And she just materialized at the venue because her addiction to the camera is that severe. You do not crash a production set if you are over the job.
Exactly. But why did they actually fire her? I want to push back on the idea that it was just cast dynamics. New Jersey has had toxic cast dynamics for a literal decade.
Right.
Why was Jennifer the casualty?
It comes down to liability and breaking the fourth wall. She sealed her own fate with two specific scandals. First, the screener scandal.
Oh, the blogger.
Right. She allegedly sent advanced, unreleased screener episodes of RHONJ to a blogger. Why? To manipulate the narrative before the episodes aired. She admitted she had a relationship with this blogger, but claimed she was, quote, conned.
Which is such a weak excuse.
Networks will tolerate a lot of bad behavior, but the second you leak proprietary intellectual property to control your own PR, you become a massive corporate liability.
And the second scandal was the physical altercation.
Exactly. The unhinged, trashy fight at the airport with the woman from Jersey Mites. Production companies have massive insurance policies. When a cast member proves they cannot control themselves in public spaces and get into physical fights over sandwiches, the underwriters get nervous.
Sandwiches.
The network looked at the leaked screeners, looked at the physical violence, and calculated that Jennifer Aydin was simply no longer worth the headache.
It is the ultimate reality check. You start to believe you are the invincible anchor of the franchise, and the network just casually cuts the cord. It reminds me of the ghosts of Bravo past. We saw the news recently that Najjar, famously known to early RHOA fans as Big Poppa, passed away at 68.
Yes, and we obviously acknowledge his family's loss. His daughter Caitlin posted a very sweet, heartfelt tribute. Friends shared eulogies about his sense of humor, his love for the singer Amr Diab, and his generosity.
Right, of course.
But from a purely analytical reality TV historical perspective, his legacy on the show is a cautionary tale of trading anonymity for a storyline.
It's wild because he never even showed his face on camera. He was just a disembodied voice on speakerphone, yet he funded Kim Zolciak's entire delusion in season 1. He bought her the cars, the excessive jewelry, the townhouse.
The music career.
Tardy for the party. And the massive unspoken tension of the entire season was that he was very much a married man while carrying on this extremely public sugar daddy entanglement.
And if you look at the viewer reaction to his passing, it illustrates what happens when you tie your reputation to a chaotic reality star. Fans were brutal in the comments, calling Kim a leech who destroyed his private life.
People were not holding back.
And the financial ruin that followed him is staggering. His $25 million Buckhead mansion, the one they actually used in the movie Zombieland, had to be sold. His Union Station Mall in Georgia was shut down because he allegedly couldn't pay the utility bills.
It is the curse of the reality TV benefactor. You step into the arena to fund the lifestyle, you get addicted to the peripheral fame, and eventually the well runs dry and the cameras move on to the next tragedy.
Which perfectly transitions us into the modern era of reality tragedy. We're moving from the curated, designer label wealth of veteran housewives directly into the hyper-curated, religiously suppressed faux perfection of Utah.
Oh, buckle up.
Let's talk about the secret lives of Mormon wives.
Before we get into the production mechanics of Hulu, I need to state clearly on the record, I am still entirely disgusted by Taylor Frankie Paul and Dakota Mortensen. Also, fuck Taylor and Dakota still. The toxicity of that relationship is dark and it is heavy.
It is a profound level of dysfunction. So, the news. Cello M&W Season 5 is officially resuming filming.
Hooray!
Yes. Remember, production was completely halted back in March because of the horrific domestic violence incident. Both Taylor and Dakota filed temporary restraining orders against each other.
Right.
But now, sources are telling TMZ that cameras are picking back up. Taylor is returning to film when she feels ready, but Dakota is definitively out. he will not be featured on the show.
Well, I am relieved he is off my screen, but let's remind everyone of the background because the stakes are very real here. Taylor posted about surviving her 40 days of hell. We all saw that leaked 2023 video of her literally throwing heavy metal bar stools at him.
It was terrifying.
The fallout was so severe that ABC completely canceled her upcoming season of The Bachelorette. They were deemed radioactive by Disney.
So we have to ask how and why Hulu is bringing this back. How does a network legally and ethically ensure a production environment revolving around an active domestic violence situation?
It feels impossible.
The answer is they remove the male variable, they wait for the mainstream heat to die down, they ban Dakota from the set to satisfy the insurance underwriters, and they throw the female star back into the mix because her trauma equals ratings.
It is so cynical. You have a cast of women, many of whom have young children, who are contractually agreeing to go back into a filming environment with someone actively embroiled in restraining order-level chaos just to keep the Hulu checks clearing. It completely shatters the illusion of the Mom Talk sisterhood.
Which brings us to Jessie Draper. Because Jessie is finally calling out the transactional nature of this entire ecosystem, and her perspective is vital.
Yes, Jessie shared a deeply vulnerable post about her split from Jordan Gedekara. A fan commented on it, pointing out the absolute hypocrisy of the group. The fan basically said that the minute Jessie or Taylor do something the other Mom Talk members don't aesthetically agree with, they completely ice them out online.
Exactly.
The exact quote was, "Life is messy. True friends don't bail when it gets messy." And Jessie liked the comment.
Because it exposes the core flaw of influencer friendships. They're not built on mutual care, they're built on algorithmic alignment.
Oof, algorithmic alignment.
That's true.
Ah.
Jessie followed up with an emotional post detailing what the public doesn't see behind the TikTok dances. She talked about suffering from severe panic attacks. She talked about having complete breakdowns on the bathroom floor. She talked about the intense guilt, the shame, and the profound isolation of leaving an abusive situation while still, quote, questioning her reality every day.
That phrase breaks my heart. Questioning my reality every day is the absolute hallmark of surviving gaslighting and emotional abuse. I empathize so deeply with her.
It's a horrible place to be.
Imagine summoning the incredible courage to leave an abusive marriage. Your life is literally crumbling, and your so-called friends in Mom Talk completely abandon you because your trauma isn't aesthetically pleasing for their grids. They bail because your reality is too messy for their brand sponsorships.
When your real-life trauma shatters the pristine pastel-colored filter, you become a liability to their monetization. It's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
But Hulu is not letting the Mom Talk train stop. They just announced the spin-off, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Orange County.
I am already exhausted by the concept. I'm exhausted. The cast list is a who's who of internet aesthetic warfare. We've got Aspen Ovard, Avery Woods, podcaster Bobby Altoff, McCall Daprin, Salome Andrea, Chandler Higginson. Notably, Jen Affleck did not make the cut, despite all the rumors.
Think about the sociology of this spinoff for a second. If we thought the Utah Mom Talk was messy, an Orange County version is going to be a completely different beast.
How so?
You are taking the underlying religious suppression and perfectionism of Utah Mormonism, and you are injecting it directly into the hyper-competitive, wealth-obsessed, plastic surgery-driven culture of Orange County. It is going to be a fascinating psychological study in vanity.
It is going to be a literal bloodbath of beige clothing, Stanley cups, and passive-aggressive brand deals.
100%.
But the common denominator in all of these stories, from Bravo to Hulu, is the devastating behavior of the men. Which brings us to our final discussion. The Tale of Two Husbands, TLC versus Bachelor Nation.
We are going to contrast the absolute worst behavior on television with a rare, actual green flag. Let's start in the dark. TLC's sister wives. The narcissism of Kody Brown has reached a tragic, irredeemable low. His daughter, Michael T. Brown, went on the Cults to Consciousness podcast and revealed that she has officially cut off all contact with Kody and Robin.
And the final straw story she told is sickening. Mykelti was literally the only child from the original 3 wives who actually put effort into maintaining a bridge with Kody and Robin. She tried so hard to keep the family connected.
She really did.
So for Christmas, she made them a handmade scrapbook. A deeply personal book filled with her children's handprints, photos, and a little voice recording module. She poured her heart into writing notes, saying she wanted to reconnect.
Let's analyze the timeline of Kody's response, because it is a masterclass in narcissistic withholding. Kody receives this deeply personal gift from his daughter on Christmas Eve. He says absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
2 weeks go by in total silence. Mykelti finally texts him just to ask if the package arrived safely. It takes him another 2 weeks to reply, a full month after Christmas. And his response is simply, yeah, I got it, thanks.
I want to understand the psychology of that. What kind of hollow person receives a voice recording of their grandchildren and responds a month later with, yeah, I got it, thanks? It is deliberate cruelty.
It is the cycle of a textbook narcissist. Mykelti realized that Cody only love bombs his children when he needs them to publicly validate him. If you aren't serving his ego, if you aren't actively worshiping him on camera to combat his negative PR, you do not exist to him.
It's so twisted.
And the most heartbreaking context she provided was about her childhood in that polygamous structure. She said she was heavily neglected, raised in a chaotic house where the parents were entirely absent. She stated she was essentially raised by her older siblings, Logan and Aspen.
The parentification of Logan and Aspen is the great tragedy of sister wives. They were the actual parents to those kids. I'm just so glad Mykelti finally woke up, drew a hard boundary, and decided to pour her energy into her own husband and children instead of chasing Cody's toxic validation.
Honestly, good for her. Leaving that toxic wasteland behind brings us to our palate cleanser. A reminder that not every man adjacent to reality television is a monster. Let's talk about the Bachelorette alum Katie Thurston and her husband, comedian Jeff Arcuri.
A genuine green flag. Babes, there was this ridiculous, completely fabricated Facebook rumor circulating that Katie and Jeff were getting a divorce. And Katie hilariously shut it down on her Instagram story.
I love this so much.
She posts a video of Jeff, who notoriously doesn't even use Instagram, and asks him, "Are you divorcing me? The internet says you're leaving me because you haven't been liking my posts." And Jeff just deadpans, "I don't look at Instagram. Are you serious? I'll go like them right now. I don't like anything."
It is the perfect, unbothered, non-reality TV-brained response.
Yeah.
And the actual life update they shared is that they just bought a fixer-upper house together.
Let's contrast Jeff with literally every man we've discussed today. Contrast him with Wes Wilson, with Dakota Mortensen, with Cody Brown. Babes, let me remind you of the lore here.
Tell them.
Jeff married Katie 1 month after she was diagnosed with breast cancer. They were planning a wedding. The terrifying health diagnosis hit, and Jeff looked at her and said, "I want to show you that I still love you and that I'm here to stay. I'll get married to you tomorrow." And they did.
That is real love.
He showed up for her in sickness and in health when the cameras were off and life got terrifyingly real.
It's profound loyalty, which raises a massive question about the entire industry we just spent the morning analyzing. We look at the Dakoters, the Wests, the Codys. Does reality television inherently attract toxic, narcissistic men who seek out the cameras to feed their egos?
That's the million-dollar question.
Or does the high-stakes pressure cooker of reality production simply expose the latent toxicity that already exists in these relationships? Is the camera a magnet, or is it a magnifying glass?
Wow, that is a thought to spiral on while you pretend to update spreadsheets today.
But maybe the more important question isn't even about the men on the screen.
Yeah.
If we know the camera acts as a magnifying glass for domestic abuse, financial ruin, and generational trauma, and we continue to consume it every single Thursday, are we the ones funding the toxicity?
Oh my God.
Snark Squad, I want to genuinely thank you for hanging out with us and surviving this deeply chaotic Thursday morning.
We started with iced coffee and tax season dread, and somehow made it through the absolute darkest corners of Bravo and Hulu mess. Barely, but we did it.
Please remember to subscribe, share this with your group chats, and keep us playing in your headphones wherever you are pretending to work right now. We depend on you to feed the algorithm so we can keep avoiding our real-life responsibilities.
Babes, stay activated.
Stay caffeinated.
And we'll see you on the snark side.